Hello and welcome to my channel. Today marks the date August 13th, 2019. It has been exactly 1 year since the Watts case broke out. This case changed all of us. The investigators on the case continue grappling with trauma. Dave Baumhover, lead detective for Frederick Police on the Christopher Watts case, has been on leave from the department since the spring when he was diagnosed with acute PTSD stemming from the Watts case. Frederick Police Detective Dave Baumhover fled the restaurant when two little girls walked in. Even hundreds of miles away in Phoenix, he couldn't escape reminders of the case he was trying to move past. At the sight of the girls, he once again was at the Weld County oil site, where 8 months ago he had recovered Bella and Celeste Watts. In movie-like detail, he saw the hazmat crew pull their bodies from the oil storage tanks. He smelt the oil that coated them. He saw their mother's shallow grave nearby. As he bolted from the restaurant to the parking lot to escape the flashback, rage, grief, and anxiety flooding his body. He knew it would take more than a trip to heal the post-traumatic stress disorder he was diagnosed with after the case. He knew he would need more time before he could see little girls without being triggered. A year after the high-profile case shocked Colorado and drew international attention to the small Weld County town, some of those who investigated the case are still grappling with its impact. They suffer nightmares about oil wells or are haunted by a lasting memory of the girls' giggles. Veteran law enforcement officers can't shake images of the well site. Dave Baumhover hasn't worked since his PTSD diagnosis in March. He is not sure whether he will be able to return to law enforcement. I have a hard time dealing with the probability that my career is ended, and not the way I wanted it to, he said. Baumhover's flashbacks started soon after returning from Wisconsin, where he interviewed Christopher Watts in prison. Baumhover went to Wisconsin because he needed to know what happened. He thought knowing would give him closure, and it did, he said, but the answers came at a price. The night after the confession, Baumhover lay in his hotel room bed. He couldn't think. He couldn't understand how such horror was possible and how Watts could coldly detail it step by step. He tried to go back to work, but the flashbacks worsened. He stopped sleeping. Gaps started to form in his memory. He couldn't remember names or control his emotions. After his diagnosis in March, he entered counseling. Lasting trauma from the case was not limited to Baumhover. Agent Tammy Lee suddenly broke down at Denver hair salon while spending time with her mum and sister. The endless videos and photos of the girls that Shanann posted online created a vivid mental image of the sisters. She kept thinking of the video of the girls when Shanann told them that she was pregnant, how the girls laughed and jumped up and down at the news, pulling their mum into a long hug. I felt like I knew them. I felt like I knew what they sounded like. I knew what they looked like when they played and how they sounded when they giggled. I felt like I was mourning their deaths. The Watts case was so tragic for law enforcement and the general public. Chris Watts seemed to be so normal and came across as a loving father in the videos. Many of us became so emotionally invested in it, doing our own investigation and reading through the police reports, leaving many of us still puzzled a year later.